Hi everybody, today is Friday, August 26th, and I wanted to share this short video with you summarizing some of the results, some of the impressions that I have of our work in week 4, and also helping you chart your progress for next week. So this week we completed 3 assignments. The first one was the introduction assignment, and then we had 2 discussion board posts based on 3 readings, or actually 4 readings if you count the textbook for this week. And so in this video I wanted to, in addition to all the comments that I've provided for you on SpeedGrader and also in the discussion threads themselves, I wanted to summarize some of my impressions of your work so far. So first of all, I wanted to say to those people who are outside of the field of writing studies that I appreciate your efforts, I appreciate the difficulty of this text that you're reading, and I appreciate your work to become members of our discourse community, those of us who are in the writing studies field already. So let me reiterate again that I do not trivialize the difficulty with which you have encountered trying to understand these texts and talk about them in the way that I'm requiring for this graduate class. So I also wanted to bring up a couple of things that about your post, which I hope you can use next week and improve. So first of all, remember that the purpose of these posts is to help you figure stuff out. The purpose of these posts is not to make general unsubstantiated statements or say that the article was great or the article was not great. The purpose of these assignments is to help you say, okay, here's what I think this writer is saying. Here's what I can say in relation to the prompt that I'm given. If I don't understand something, I want to try to articulate and explain what I don't understand and what's difficult about this piece, this reading, or this question. I want to be specific, I want to be detailed, I want to be using the article, specifically the examples, the quotes, whatever, the questions that the authors pose. And again, if something is difficult, I'm going to mention in my discussion post what is difficult and why, and try to figure out, ask others for help. Unfortunately, I've seen a few posts both on Tuesday and on Thursday which don't do that, which gloss over important terms, which kind of just say, okay, well, great stuff, let's move on. This is not what I want you to do. I want you to be detailed. I want you to be deliberate. I want you to pay attention to small things in the articles. I want you to actually use the articles in the textbook in your posts and refer to specific parts of the article. This is very important work. At the end of the first module, you will have to write a short theory application paper, and you will need to understand the readings very, very well in order to succeed in that paper. You need to understand what's at stake. You need to understand the questions posed in the readings. You cannot simply gloss over important things in the readings. So please take these assignments very seriously. If I've provided some feedback to you I've tried to do so in such a way that will allow you to approach the next discussion post assignment in a different way and improve. The other point I want to make is about your comments on other people's posts in the discussion threads. I've seen some very good ones, and I've seen a couple that make me pause and kind of be a little concerned. I've seen a couple of posts which just were posted, seems like for the sake of being posted, and said something like, great post, completely agree, moving on. That is not what we want. If you're going to spend time posting, if you're going to spend time reacting to people's posts, you need to advance the conversation in some way. You need to ask a question. You need to explain something to the person you're replying to. You need to ask for an explanation. You need to add some value to the conversation. You need to add some value to the post. Simply saying, great post, great job, really liked it, it's nice. You could say that as part of your post, but there has to be something other than that in your response. Otherwise, it's not very useful to you, it's not very useful to the writer, and it's not very useful to other readers in the class who will read those posts. So let's keep that in mind. If you need to review the criteria for a successful discussion forum post, which I linked earlier this week, look at that again and see what's required. And again, I'm not attributing all of these issues to you being less than conscientious. Sometimes it's difficult. to do it all right the first time around. So if that's the case, ask for help. Let me know if you have any questions, and I look forward to working on new assignments next week. Thanks very much. Have a great weekend.